Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to the MGS Podcast, your one-stop shop for movies, games, and sports. My name is Jake. Here always with my Amber Heard, who I'd like to shit on my bed. Paul, how you doing, Paul?
Godly, bro.
I'm
doing good, man.
Let her shit on my bed. I'm just saying.
I'm happy to be back. You know, had a little bit of a break there, and
Well, what sucks is we had a break because of a COVID outbreak in my house, which, a couple of us managed to steer completely clear of, and then we had a second COVID outbreak in the house.
And I think you were making fun of them for licking handrails, and then you're like, "Well, let me go try to lick some handrails,"
and
then you got COVID.
Yeah, apparently licking handrails wasn't the right thing
We'd
to do.
advised against.
Went to SeaWorld and I'm like, I just saw like 8 dudes put their hands on that rail in the bathroom.
Yeah, that tree that has all the gum on it. You're like, "Oh yeah."
Dude. When I was a kid, we actually had a kid in my school who would take like gum that he just found and eat it. But he would also just like for lunch, he'd just have ketchup packets.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But we're not here to judge, I mean, if you like ketchup, more power to
we're
you,
here to talk about movies, games, and sports.
Yeah.
Which we haven't been able to do in a while. So we actually have a lot of stuff that we have to talk about. I mean, Paul went and saw Top Gun since our last podcast. We both went and saw Jurassic World Dominion since our last podcast. Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus has been heating up. I took the family to go see Lightyear, which was phenomenal. For gaming, we've been playing a crap ton of Apex Legends.
I think that's even an understatement.
Yeah, like
I'm addicted right now.
We're playing so much Apex Legends right now that yesterday I'm like, hey, Paul, you want to play Battlefield? Season 1 is out, which we're also going to talk about. Season 1 is out. Let's get on this. He's like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of hooked on Apex right now.
And I'm not even that great at it, but I'm like getting better, like. I don't know. I was, we'll talk about that more when we get to gaming. But yeah, Apex, some Battlefield 2042. The season,
Call of Duty news.
New content just came out for Battlefield, and then Call of Duty. So we got a lot more details on the upcoming game. So we're excited to talk about all that. So stick around, and we're gonna get ready to move into our movie segment and enjoy.
Get you, That was pretty good. So first, we're actually going to be talking about Jurassic World Dominion. This is going to be, I guess we can say it's going to be a spoiler review of
absolutely.
Jurassic World Dominion. I was very disappointed. It's not that I thought the movie was bad. It's that I thought the movie was trying to be something that it wasn't. Like, they tried to fit all these different genres of movies into a Jurassic Park movie, and it didn't work. Like, at one point, I felt like it was a James Bond movie. Like, you have this villain just walking everywhere with her high heels, and it's just the dumbest fucking thing.
I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe you guys go into those movies with a lot more expectation than I do. I mean, honestly, I walk into Jurassic Park like the same way I walk into Godzilla. I'm looking to see some screen time with some dinosaurs. I'm looking for them to eat some people. I'm looking for some battles. I'm looking to see some screen time with the dinosaurs just to see it, like to see the Velociraptor, to see the T-Rex. Yeah. And I felt like I got that, so my satisfaction was there because, at the end you get the historic battle with the T-Rex.
And the Giga.
Yeah, and you get to see them battle it out, and I don't go in there with any kind of real high expectations of like, this storyline is going to be the absolute best storyline there is, because in my eyes, nothing will ever cap the first Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And we've seen that with number 2, 3. We saw it with I really don't think that any of the new movies have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, I just go in there with the expectation like, yo, I'm here to watch some dinosaurs destroy some shit because it's all a bad idea anyways to
Yeah.
begin with. So,
Well,
serves you right.
I was almost really upset towards the end of the movie when the T-Rex is fighting the Giga. Now, mind you, if y'all didn't know, the T-Rex that you see in Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and also in Jurassic World Dominion, that's the original T-Rex. You can even still see the scars from the first fight with the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park 1.
I guess I never caught that.
Yeah, it's the same T-Rex. And at one point, you think this T-Rex dies to the Giga, and I was pissed. Like, no, you ain't taking out my girl like that.
I was a little upset about that, too. I know exactly what you're talking
But
about.
then, ends up getting up and like, that's all you got, bruh.
You gonna need more than that, player.
And then, the Giga gets owned by the T-Rex.
Technically,
and his friend.
he gets jumped by the T-Rex, yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, it was good. There was a lot of like corny parts where it just like makes you cringe. You're just like, oh, why do they do that? Like, do you remember in the very first one when I forget her name, but her and Alan Grant are in the Jeeps and they go out to the field and they see the herds of dinosaurs for the very first time, and she's like stands up in the Jeep and she's like sees the dinosaur and she's like. And takes off her glasses. Well, they had her do it in the movie again to like solidify her character as she's come back, and it was in a field of locusts that like just destroyed a field. She stands up on this tractor for no reason and just like looks out in the field and she does the slow take off of the glasses. You said locusts did this? Like, come on, man! It was so cringy.
And then
like
even with Ian, in Jurassic Park 1, he takes the flare and like waves it at the T-Rex and then runs away. And in this one, he takes a locust that's on fire
and starts waving
it at the Giga and runs. And it's like,
it's
okay,
like, why?
I get you're aiming for the nostalgia of the first movie, but this isn't the first movie. This is the sixth movie. Just calm down.
We know who the characters are.
Yeah, we're already excited to see the 3 OGs come back and be on screen with the new cast. That enough was cool. Another thing I was a little disappointed about. So there is also a Jurassic Park animated series called Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous. I can't say that. Holy shit.
Yeah, I actually watch it with my daughter.
Yeah,
she loves it.
I watch it with Camden all the time, and they said Colin Trevorrow said that the final season of that was going to tie in a lot to what we just saw in Dominion. There were no references, no Easter eggs. I was looking for that shit,
and there was nothing.
There was nothing because I've seen every episode of that animated.
Oh, we've only seen
like
the first 2 seasons. So
I think there's 4, and we've seen every episode tons of times because Camden. Like, when the new season comes out, we binge it, and then we rewatch it, and then we rewatch it, and
you know how kids are, over and over.
Yeah, of course. Obs. Obs. But, again, it was cool to see the dinosaurs and shit get destroyed, people get eaten. Because there were some people that got eaten, too.
Oh, yeah.
When the Allosaur, when they're in, like, Italy or whatever, gets out, and, like, there's just a dude just sitting there in the courtyard. He's like, oh, dinosaur. Dead.
Done. I did think the part where they were they weren't velociraptors,
the new raptor.
That new raptor, that they had like, the lasers and everything. Even though it was unrealistic as can be, I did think that part was actually pretty cool, where they're like running through the city on the bikes and these raptors are, chasing after him. I think I even jumped in a part,
there was a jump scare that got me. I don't remember what it was, but I remember there was a jump scare that got me. But the thing that was silly about that part, in the last movie, Fallen Kingdom, they set up like, oh, the Indoraptor. We designed this guy from scratch, and this motherfucker listens to these laser commands. And then literally in the next movie, they're like, we realized we didn't need to do that. We could just train them.
Well, that worked out slow.
That was the entire plot point of the last movie, and they're like, no. It's kind of like they pulled a Star Wars on it. You know, The Last Jedi just is like, what the hell just happened? And then Rise of Skywalker comes out, and it's like, somehow Palpatine has returned. And that's what they did.
From 4 episodes back.
Yeah. But, you know, fun fact for you, the character that Alan Grant is based off of has actually said that he believes science will allow humans to create dinosaurs within the next 10 years.
I don't think that there's so much that's going on right now with cloning and things like that. You know, I think there's a possibility of it, but have we not learned enough?
There's kind of 6 movies about...
Because I know they're trying to do a lot of cloning, like bringing back extinct animals, like
the dodo bird.
Right, yeah, like those type of things. And I'm all for that, you know, like... But I don't know. We should be doing dinosaurs.
Give me
you know, woolly mammoth. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, give me some cute little dinosaurs. You know.
Yeah.
You know?
None of those little green ones. You know, jump and eat people.
Well, yeah. When they're in a pack, they just destroy everybody. Yeah.
Those things are awesome.
One thing that Jurassic Park ruined for everybody is the Velociraptor, though.
I think they're
actually
obsessed
the
with
size of a turkey.
Like Blue, like baby Blue.
Yeah, that's their full
Beta.
size. Yeah. Beta.
I guess I never realized that they were that small. I didn't know that.
Yeah, neither did I until I was an adult and I read about it and I'm like, fuck you.
Well, I mean,
they are huge.
look at the amounts of and the different types of raptors that you see in all of the Jurassic Parks.
Yeah.
I mean, they've changed it and added in so many different ones that it's like, well, which one's the realistic one? Because don't raptors actually have like feathers and more? I don't know what to say fur, but they
had feathers.
Yeah,
they had feathers. So did the T-Rex, and most dinosaurs I saw actually had feathers. A lot of, according to some scientists, some of them would shed their feathers as they got older, but who knows? I mean,
I feel like it would just like been done if someone would just put a bullet in the Asian dude's head. Because he's like,
what is it, Dr. Wu? Is that
Dr. Wu? Yeah, he just put a bullet in his head. You know, from the first movie. None of this would have happened.
Well, they didn't know he was bad in the first movie. You know, you thought he was fine, and that weird fucking dude was just
the bad guy.
Yeah. And that's another thing in the first movie. You see the Barbasol can like get washed away and buried.
They did it again,
and then all right, come on now.
Like I said, there was just so much of that corniness that made me cringe. Like, why? Why do you feel like you need to add that in there to?
But at the end of the day, if you like Jurassic Park, go see it.
Yeah.
Or wait for it to come out and see it.
Like I said, expectations. Yeah. Godzilla expectations. Academy Awards.
My expectations for Godzilla are high. I've got a Godzilla right there. I love that guy. I've been watching Godzilla.
I have higher expectations for Kong than I do Godzilla or I do
First
for
of all, that's
Jurassic
absolutely
Park.
fucking offensive. But,
is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
But on that note,
because King Kong was amazing.
And to each their own. Mm-hmm. But to that, we'll move on to Top Gun Maverick, which I have not seen yet. So it's going to be primarily Paul talking about it. So. How was it?
I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it.
In comparison to the first one, do you think it was better, worse, about the same?
It's hard to say because like that's one thing I have like with movies that are like sequels and then they decide to do them like 20 years later. In this sense, this was 88, I think, is when Top Gun came out. Maybe 86, somewhere around there. And then we're in 2022. I mean, we're way over. Yeah. I mean, so there's a lot of things that's like, it would have been better if they did it right after, but they didn't. And for them going that long and then creating a sequel, it was good. I mean, the storyline was kind of exactly how I expected it. It was a little bit of a drama, a little bit of a love, but it wasn't like overkill. Yeah. Like there was a lot of plane time, I guess you could say, of them being in the jets.
And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing it, is just the visuals. Because in the previews, it looks stunning.
Dude, I'll tell you. So we went just last weekend, and I looked up at 4 different theaters in the area. So I checked AMC at the West Oaks. I checked the Horizons West, the luxury dine-in theater, 3. And I checked the one out in Claremont. And every single one from like 6 to 7 to 8 was almost completely booked still for this movie. So like it's been out for almost 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and it's still getting a ton of views, and so I thought that was interesting that like that far on, it's still.
Well, I know it already became Paramount's second highest grossing film.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that, so that's awesome. And it was like I was going in, like, all right, we'll see a little bit of action in the planes, and then like though I'm sure there'll be one, dogfight at the end, and it'll probably be like 15 minutes. Well, there was a dogfight at the end, and it was like 30 minutes.
Nice.
I mean, there was a good amount of time in this end battle. So it was really cool. I thought Miles Teller, Tom Cruise, all did a great job in it. I think they tried to bring a little nostalgia from like having Goose's son, which is Rooster, in the movie, and then another guy who was very similar, like to the way that Iceman and Maverick were.
Kind of like the asshole.
Yeah, and then you got the nice guy, and the asshole picks on him all the time, and and then they end up being like family at the end. So that same kind of movie line, but it worked.
I thought be my wingman any day.
Yeah, essentially, is how it ended.
I think that's what Iceman says at the end.
That's exactly what he said. But it was good. I enjoyed it. I took my wife, and she actually walked out, and she's like, "That was actually awesome. Yeah. There was a lot of action in it." So
yeah, a coworker
she was happy.
of mine that I worked with last week, actually right before you went and saw it, he said he went and saw it a couple days prior in the IMAX.
I wish I would have saw it in IMAX.
Yeah, he said out of any movie he's ever seen in the IMAX, that was the best IMAX experience that he's had. So I don't know if it's still going to be in theaters this weekend, but if it is, I'm going to try to check it out in the IMAX.
If you go, I would check it out again. I would literally go watch it again in IMAX, just because of how visually stunning that the fight scene, the dog fight at the end was awesome.
I'll look up tickets, or I'll do it after we're done with this.
They actually, I know we talked about it briefly too, but that hypersonic jet so actually Lockheed Martin designed it for the movie, and they they have him in it, and it's in the very beginning of the movie, but it's awesome to see, because I was talking to my dad. My dad actually used to work at Lockheed Martin, and Lockheed is in the process of designing an actual jet like that.
Okay.
That will go around the entire world. I think it was like 4 hours.
Wow.
Is how fast this jet could make it do a whole lap around the Earth.
The Flash can do it in like half a second.
Yeah, that's amazing, right?
He's the fastest man alive.
But you think about it, I mean, 10G plus, cruising.
That's cool.
To go, that quick around the world. So it was pretty neat. I thought it was pretty interesting. Be cool to see that. So
yeah.
But yeah, Top Gun, if you haven't seen it, go out and check it out. It was really good. I think the reviews are even still great on it.
Yeah,
I mean, high 80s.
Phenomenal. Mm-hmm.
So definitely check that one out. It was a lot of fun, a lot of action, a little bit of drama, a little bit of love. So, bring your significant other and enjoy it. Next, I know Jake wanted to get in something that was, actually based on a real true story, but Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear. Yeah.
To infinity and beyond.
Well, they do this thing there where the girl says to infinity, and then now you, and beyond. No, you got to say it.
And beyond. I like it.
So Camden was doing that all after the movie.
I bet.
like I'm in the car, and all of a sudden I just see a finger like poke out next to me to infinity. I'm like, oh,
and beyond. That's awesome.
But yeah, Lightyear. So it's gonna be spoiler free, because we're gonna go very quick, because we still want to talk about Kenobi. But Lightyear it starts off saying, in 1995, a boy named Andy got a toy based off of his favorite movie. This is that movie. So it's basically the movie that the Buzz Lightyear toy was based off of for Andy.
Oh, okay.
So we get to see Andy's favorite movie, which, fuck you kids, Toy Story's our shit. It came out in 95. So honestly, it was really, really good. I enjoyed it leaps and bounds over Jurassic World Dominion, and I can say that with like absolute certainty in my heart.
By the way, just to let you know, the thing now is not to say 1995, it's just the 1900s.
What the fuck? Yeah, back in the 1900s, Toy Story came out, and I loved it. Yeah, that's weird. I've never heard that. But, okay, fucking kids. You were born in the 1900s? Dude, I was born in 99.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, it was so good. It was really funny. there were some intense moments. There was a moment that like had my mom crying too.
What?
Yeah.
That means I'm definitely gonna cry.
Dude, I'm like,
No. Don't.
I don't want to say a name or anything. I almost did and spoiled it. But
It's not the cat, right?
No.
Oh, thank God. Is it a cat or a dog?
It's a cat.
Okay. All right.
Jesus.
But you never know with Disney, bro. Disney be killing everybody.
So if you want to take your kids out for a fun night, it was a great movie. If you want to go out and relive your childhood a little bit, it was a great movie. My son loved it. I loved it. Our whole party that went and saw it, loved it. And I came out all happy and stuff. I'm like, yeah. There are 3 post-credit scenes though.
Jesus.
And the first one came on and it was just like a joke. And then we're waiting for the second one and I'm like, holy shit, this is taking forever. So I quick Google it, find out what the post-credit scenes are, and I'm like, all right, we're leaving. And then Elijah looks at me and he's like, what? Like, I'd like to see this. I'm like, I ain't waiting 10 more minutes for a fucking Buzz Lightyear post-credit scene, okay? Like, we're going to move on. We'll see the second one whenever it comes out. But plus, obviously it'll come out on Disney Plus, so we'll be able to see it at that point.
So you didn't wait?
No, man.
You made your whole family get up?
Yeah.
It's like 8 of y'all.
I wanted to get home and play Apex, bro.
All right, yeah, that's true.
If I'm being honest. So that's as much as we'll talk about Buzz Lightyear, because now...
And speaking of the galaxy...
Yeah, we're going to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan!
We just got through episode 5. Paul has not seen episode 5 yet, because he's a piece of shit.
I'm watching with my wife. I'm trying to be good. She likes it. I'm excited that she's excited about Star Wars.
It's unacceptable.
And even though she's like, hey, do you want to go back and watch all the movies? And I was like, yes, as long as we don't watch 7, 8, and 9, I'm good.
She's like, Paul, is this a Star War?
Star War?
Star War? So I get what you're saying, but it's absolutely unacceptable. Everyone knows when your wife wants to watch something with you, you watch it first. You rewind that shit. And then when you're watching it with her, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that's just happened.
So I did that on the first episode. And what happened, actually it was the second episode when I finally ruined it. I was sitting there and we were watching it. So I was like, hold on, this is a good part. I'm going to pause it and go get a drink real quick. And then I came back and sat down and she goes, how do you know it's a good part? I was like, shit. She's like, did you watch it already? And I was like, yeah. She goes, you lied to me? I was like, yeah.
Wait a second. Something's not adding up here. So we just got through 5 episodes, and one thing we talked about on the podcast when we first started talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi was the bullying that happens with the Star Wars fans. And unfortunately, Moses Ingram, who plays the third sister, was instantly met with a bunch of racist shit on Instagram and death threats and ridiculous stuff. But she's being a real good sport about it. She, at least on camera, is laughing it off, and hopefully it's not hurting her too much, because I think she's doing great in the part. I did a very short video that I uploaded. Actually, I live streamed where I just talked about it. So if you want to go watch that and get my full thoughts on that, but we'll go into further detail in Kenobi. But we get to we're able to see Hayden as Vader, because there's a lot of scenes where he's in the Vader suit. There's a lot of scenes where he's not, because you got to remember Vader was a big man. So like the close-ups is Hayden in the suit, but like when you see his full silhouette like next to a person, that's a body double. Because Hayden isn't 6'8".
Yeah, with that big of a frame.
Yeah, because David Prowse, the guy who originally played Vader, was a bodybuilder. Very massive bodybuilder.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, so if you ever watch the original trilogy, just look at the man's thighs. Like, massive. Those pants are tight.
About to burst. He's about to burst the seam.
Oh man, it is exciting. He's a real Darth Vader.
But I was watching it also with my sister-in-law, and I was like, she's like, that voice, who does the voice? I was like, well, that's James Earl Jones. They brought him back to do Vader's voice, and she goes, well, I thought Hayden Christensen was Vader, and I was like, yeah, but they brought back James Earl Jones to do his voice. Well, who's in the suit? Well, not James Earl Jones. He's like 80 something. She's like, well, I don't understand then. Why why is Hayden Christensen not doing his voice? I was like, well, he doesn't sound like Vader. They brought back James Earl Jones to do Vader. Like, what are you not picking up here? Like, I don't understand it.
Like Hayden, believe it or not, doesn't sound like. No, I am your father. No, it's impossible. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make fun of her next time I see her for that.
Yeah, I was like, well, I don't know. I don't understand what you're not understanding here.
Yeah.
Why would you not think they're gonna?
But we're gonna get into more spoilers. We're always gonna do spoilers. Just prepare yourself. Tune out if you don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, right.
But
stop watching.
So episode 3, we got to see Vader fight Obi-Wan.
Wait, before we even get to that, can we just talk about that walk down the alley?
Yeah,
I mean, dude, he was.
That's what I was about to talk about.
Oh well,
Yeah.
I thought you were going straight to the fight.
Brutally
Okay,
interrupted.
sorry. Yeah,
because he was making a statement. Like, so he's walking down this alleyway. In this village, you can see like civilians just sitting on the side, and he's walking. And then at one point, you can tell the moment that he senses that Obi-Wan is there.
Yep.
And then he just starts force choking a dude.
Trying to get him to come out.
And then the dude's son comes out and he pushes him and then snaps his neck. And then he just grabs this lady and starts dragging her down the fucking road.
Dude, it was...
all of it is because he can sense Obi-Wan's fear. And he's like, yeah, bitch, you want to see fear, dog? And... it was just so cool. It was weird to see Obi-Wan so scared, but you got to remember, he's been out of touch with the Force.
I love it
that
that's how they've done it.
Yeah,
I love that he's timid.
I think this show is borderline perfect right now. There's very few things that I would change.
And I know you were nervous about them messing up the whole canon, and
they have in some ways, but I'm okay with it because Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favorite Jedi. Like, seeing Ewan come back and play this role again is just... I just got all shivery thinking about it.
I got the chills, man.
But I love him. I think he just does such a good job. And you can start to see him, like, in Episode 3, he started to do little more gestures that Alec Guinness did. Like, at the very end of Episode 3, he does the little beard rub thing, and he's been doing that a lot more, so you can see he's transitioning into Alec Guinness's Ben Kenobi. But yeah, back to the Vader fight. So eventually Obi-Wan is like trapped in like this construction area, and like he ignites his lightsaber, and at first you're like, yeah, but then you realize he's not igniting it to fight, he's igniting it because he's scared and he can't see.
Right, and usually he could use his abilities to like sense.
Yeah, but he's literally having to use it to light away because he can't see Vader and he's terrified. And then you see Vader's red lightsaber ignite, and I mean, Vader whoops this man. Like, he's putting...
You could easily tell
effort.
He was toying with him.
Oh, yeah. Minimal effort. He's just pounding the shit out of him.
And I love it.
That sounded bad.
And I
he was pounding the shit.
I thought something happened when you looked at me. I was like, wait, what? Did something go out? Not the camera.
No. But then, like, after he's pretty much beaten Obi-Wan, he pushes over this chemical and then ignites it with his lightsaber, and then he grabs Obi-Wan with the Force and starts dragging him through the fucking fire, like, motherfucker.
He even said you're gonna suffer, and this is like just the beginning of your suffering.
And this is just the beginning. And I mean, man, so one part that happened right after that, a lot of people had issues with, which was when I forget her name, but the
lady from Game of Thrones,
the spy from Game of Thrones. Yeah, she reignited the chemical to save Obi-Wan, and everyone's like, why didn't Vader just jump over the fire? Because obviously he could easily get over that fire. He could also walk through it because his suit is like fireproof. So, but he didn't, and that's because I'm pretty sure in that moment that wasn't Vader anymore. That was Anakin. I think he was. We've seen a lot of confliction. In the scenes that we've seen Vader, we've seen a lot of confliction because at this point, he hasn't killed Anakin. Anakin is still in there. I'd say we're at like 80-20 right now, whereas in the original trilogy, we're at like 99% Vader, 1% Anakin. I think we still got like 20% Anakin in there. And, him hearing his master, his brother scream, Anakin kind of came out. And I think in a way he was afraid. He's like maybe afraid of himself. So he didn't jump over the fire to pursue Obi-Wan.
See, I thought of it that way, but I was thinking like more of the lines of like you now know who I am. Like
Yeah.
you, like it was a statement. Like
it was like, now go.
I can get you,
Yeah.
and you know that I can get you now. Like you have no chance. And I think he wants him to live in fear like that.
Oh, yeah,
I think he
yeah.
wants him to be absolutely terrified of like always looking over his shoulder of like,
because he knows he just got his ass
yeah,
whooped.
oh yeah, and that
Yeah.
he's hunting him.
And that so far is where canon is slightly broken. Because, when Vader encounters Ben in episode 4, he says, when we last met, I was but a learner. Now I am the master. Well, no, when you last met, you beat the shit out of this man. But something happened in episode 5. I know you haven't seen it, so I'm not going to spoil it. But something happened in episode 5 psychologically that could have turned those tables, where Obi-Wan was still the master psychologically. So it can still make sense. I'm really hoping for one more fight between them, but I don't see it happening with the way that episode 5 ended. I don't think we'll see Vader.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it too. So Obi-Wan, yes, right now we got timid Obi-Wan. Like he is terrified. He doesn't know. He doesn't use his abilities anymore. He's been in hiding for so long that he can't use the Force because he's afraid of being detected, and them finding him. So my thought of it was, well, he's gonna get back on his feet. He's gonna become who he was at some point again.
You saw episode 4, right?
Yeah.
Where they go into... You didn't? He winked at me like, bro, maybe I'm further behind than I thought. Don't fucking tell them, please. When he goes to the Inquisitor's castle.
Yes, where he snuck in, and yeah.
And there you start to see Obi-Wan come back a little bit.
Yeah, when he's like holding the door and he's fighting off everybody.
Yeah. So
a little bit more confidence.
And then in episode 5, which you haven't seen yet, you see Obi-Wan. You also see a badass scene with Vader again, and that man, they're doing so much good for that character right now. That's one thing I'll give Disney credit for, is they're doing good for Vader. Even in the comic book series, they're showing how powerful he really was.
Well, that's good for them, because I mean, Vader, I mean, I think, believe it or not, I think Han Solo stole a lot from the original series, and Luke Skywalker, all panned to him, but I think Vader was the main thing. That's what their focus was, and what they wanted to be.
Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 was about Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
And then, these main characters were actually just side characters in the story of Anakin Skywalker. But one thing I'm stoked about is Hayden has straight up said with confidence, if they called him to come back to do a Vader series or a Vader movie, he said, hell yeah, he would do it. Awesome. And I hope we get that, because what they're doing with Vader, we've got an entire 20 years of Vader where this motherfucker's just hunting and murdering Jedi. And I want to see it.
Yeah, that would be awesome, especially if it was dark and
I just feel like we need to see it. And I think the first thing that we'll see with Vader, if they do a Vader movie, is Mace Windu.
You know who said just recently?
It wasn't recently, but it went viral again recently.
Where he was
Jackson.
Yeah,
you know what you're talking about?
He was just someone was talking about it the other day about all the movies he does, and I forget what the exact question was, but he was like, I'd rather go do something that I like and enjoy instead of something that I'm miserable doing. He's like, I'd rather do this or this, and then he's like, hell, I'd love to pick up the lightsaber again and be Mace Windu.
Okay, so I didn't see that one, but a few years ago, someone asked him in an interview, they're like, so is Mace Windu still alive? And he's like, in Star Wars, we've seen a lot of people fall from big heights, and they're still alive.
Yep.
So, I'm just putting it out there. So it would be cool, because they, even in the comic books and novels, they never found his body. So it is open for him to possibly come back.
I was going to say, in the comic books, is there anything else of Mace Windu, or was that it after?
There's mentions of him, but you don't ever see him again. Like even the Jedi Purge, they take all the lightsabers and burn them in front of all the people on Coruscant, like, this is the end of the tyrant Jedi. And they didn't have Mace's lightsaber either. So even though they should have, because, dude got his arm cut off, and but who's keeping track? But season finale. I almost said series finale, but Ewan McGregor did tease season 2.
So I was gonna say, how many seasons have they got in the books
confirmed the
right
first
now?
one. Just Ewan, and it could have just kind of been like him joking around at Star Wars Celebration. He's like, I can't wait for you guys to see, episode 5, episode 6, episode 7, 8, and 9. He kind of said it like that, so everyone's like, oh, all right,
there's gonna be more.
There's gonna be more, but nothing's been confirmed.
I can't imagine they bring all these original guys back, get Hayden Christensen back on the big screen with Star Wars, and then bring him back and only do one season.
Well, I think it would be hard with Obi-Wan specifically, because as far as we know, he was just a reclusive hermit on Tatooine. Now we're seeing that, halfway through his time at Tatooine, obviously he goes on this adventure, which your theory about him going to rescue Leia was spot on. But is it realistic for him to leave Luke again? You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, but we have enough shit on Tatooine. I don't need to see Tatooine.
Yeah, I don't want to see.
I'm sick of seeing. We're in a galaxy far, far away with all these fucking planets, and we see 3 of them constantly, and that's it. So, and then they give us shit like Jakku, which is fucking Tatooine. Come on now.
Yeah, I 100%
Hell, even
agree with
Starkiller Base was fucking Hoth. Give us something new. But I want to see some exotic alien planets. In very briefly in episode 3, we got to see Volusia,
right?
Which is just beautiful, crazy colors. Kind of reminded me of Avatar.
Yeah. That's
it'd be cool to see planets like that. But I think we are running super long here in our movie segment, so we should probably cut it off. But season finale tomorrow. I'm gonna watch it. You better catch the fuck up.
I'll probably watch the other one. Maybe depends on what time I get home tonight.
All I'm saying is, boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time.
Ooh. I like that.
But we're gonna take a small break and move on to our gaming segment.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in a few.
See ya.
So today I was out doing this measurement at this lady's house, right? And she's an older Asian lady. And so there's a little bit of a language barrier there. She's 83 years old. So she's sitting there, and I'm getting ready to measure her rooms and, getting ready to do some work. And I'm sitting there, and I'm, she's like, oh, I saw this metal on her table. I was like, oh, what's that? And she's like, oh, yeah, I do this something ball. I was like, oh, cool. And I thought she said pickleball. So I got excited. So I was like, I love pickleball. I play pickleball all the time. And she's like, oh yeah, really? I was like, yeah, I have my paddle in my car. And she's
want to see it?
she's like, oh, awesome. And so she opens up her den, and then there's a window, and then you have your little curtain rod.
Yeah.
And she's got all these medals hanging. And I'm like, holy shit, this lady's legit as fuck.
This lady created pickleball.
Yeah. She's got trophies. She's got all these medals hanging up. And then she grabs out this bag. And I'm like, oh shit, what's she about to show me? And she pulls out a ping pong paddle. And I was like, oh, that kind of.
Still though, I mean.
So now she didn't understand. I was saying pickleball, and I didn't understand. She's saying ping pong. And so now she's like, now I'm invested in this conversation. So now I got to be like, yeah, I play ping pong now. So she shows me, and she brings out these paddles, and it's a $400 ping pong paddle. And she lets me hold it. I'm like, I would never let somebody hold a $400 ping pong paddle. So she's explaining to me. She's got one with grip. She's got one that's a smooth surface. And man, these things are sweet. I put it in my hand. I was like, damn, this weight is nice. So
it's distributed so well.
It's I played a lot of ping pong back in my day, drunk. At a buddy's house.
Most of my ping pong, there was no paddle or table.
It's just beer pong.
It's just,
So anyway, so we're sitting there, and I'm measuring her house, and I start measuring her master bedroom, and then I go into this closet, and she's got like this. It's a real weird master closet. It's got like it's like a 5 feet depth and it's 11 feet wide, right?
Okay.
Really weird.
Yeah.
And the door goes in, so it's just even more awkward. So this lady didn't want me to go like anywhere in her house by herself, so she wants to follow me into this closet. Well, there's not a lot of room in here. I'm a pretty, my broad shoulder guy, a burly guy. And so I walk into this closet, and I'm like, dude, there's no fucking room in here. Because all her coats and jackets and clothes are hanging. She's got a whole bunch of shit in there, so there's like barely any room. So I'm like, got my board in there, and I'm like writing up the dimensions and everything. And I like got to get to the other side of the closet, but she's on the other side of the closet. So we're like squeezing through her closet together.
Excuse me?
So the only place that I could get a clear angle of my laser is up on the back of her shelf. But there's so much shit on the other shelf that I can't see if the laser's hitting the wall with me leaning over. So I lean over and I'm like getting my laser up to the wall. And sure enough, I feel these little hands right on my hips. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? And she's trying to push me to give me a little bit of a boost to get high enough over on this wall. So I'm lasering over. And I was like, I need you to look and see if it's on there. So she doesn't even detach. She's got her hands on my hips and she's turned around. I'm turned around looking at her, turning around. And she's like, nope, a little bit to the left, a little bit higher. I'm here with this little Asian lady gripping on my waist. And I got this laser and I get it across the room and I'm done. And I'm just standing there still turned around and she's still got her hands on my hips. And I'm just like, all right, I think we're done now. And she goes back and opens the door. And I'm walking out. I'm just like, damn, if we never had that pickleball conversation, I don't know if she felt comfortable to put her hands on my hips like that.
And next thing you know, I have a second wife. It's bizarre.
Well, the craziest thing is right before I'm getting ready to leave, she gives me this little box, right? And she's like, next time you play, use these. She's like, and when you play with people that know what they're doing, she's like, they see you with these balls. She goes, they're going to think you're legit. And I'm like, so now I have a box of 3 authentic ass fucking league ping pong balls sitting at my desk at work. And it was just the funniest.
Oh, man.
It was just the chain of events that happened was absolutely hilarious.
That's good.
Welcome back to the MGS podcast, your one-stop shop for movies, games, and sports. We're here in our second segment. We're going to be talking about some video games.
Video games, yeah.
And we're going to kick it off here with some Apex. We're also going to be going into some Battlefield 2042. Just had a season pass drop. New map. And then we're going to go into what we know about the new Call of Duty. So a lot of good things. A lot of good things in the gaming segment today. Started off here with Apex, and man, I'm addicted.
Yeah.
It's like crack.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we teased it before, but so Paul and I, you guys know, you've watched a bunch of podcasts now. We're Battlefield guys. I can honestly attribute our friendship and how quickly our friendship grew
to Battlefield.
We played the shit out of Battlefield 3. We played the shit out of Battlefield 4. And, I asked this guy the other night, like, hey, man, you haven't played the new season yet. You want to hop on that shit? And he's like, nah, dog. Nah, I'm
about that Apex life
hooked.
right
and
now.
then all of a sudden I hear, ooh. I'm like, holy shit, Paul.
What's going on over there?
He sends me a picture. He crushed up a little Apex picture and snorted that shit. And like, man,
I bleed Apex now.
So, we're not going to really talk about any content as much as we're just going to kind of talk about playing the game. Paul recently got into playing Apex a month ago, maybe now.
Yeah, it's been about a month and a half maybe.
And I
started off slow, but I'd say consistently for sure the last 3 weeks.
But I've been slowly watching my boy grow, and
they used to call me Garbage Can, and I said, well, it's not called Garbage Can't. It's called Garbage Can.
Yeah. Other way, you should have said it. They used to call me Garbage Can't.
No.
But I told them I'm Garbage Can.
No, you guys used to call me Garbage Can. I said, well, it's called Garbage Can, not Garbage Can't.
We used to call you JP. Paul, it's out
Have
of
I
the-
graduated from a JP level?
I haven't played with JP in a while.
Fuck.
Because as far as I know, you still shoot us when we're down. So,
No, I haven't done that in a
I
while.
haven't done it in 3 days.
No,
so
no, it's been like 2
relax.
weeks, man. I've been doing better.
You know, the best part is, so like I'll go down because when I
They
play,
need to label that shit better.
no, they don't. We all see it fine. So,
Eric does it too, he said.
He's
He
done
might
it
have
a
said that
couple
to
of
make me
times.
feel better.
He has done it a couple times. But so we all have our own play styles. Even you watching this, you have your own play style. And if you play Apex, you've got your favorite legend. I use Octane as my main because he fits my play style. I'm a movement guy. I like to flank people. I like to retreat when I need to. I like to be able to come at people from all different angles. So I'm an Octane guy. And a lot of times because of that, I go down first because and my friend T-Bone, who, you know, we'll have his YouTube channel linked. Actually, it's linked in our stream, so check him out. He plays with us all the time. But T-Bone, he knows when I say, oh shit, I fucked up. Like, when I say I fucked up, I fucked up. Typically,
I've got myself in a bad position.
Typically,
right now.
I just injected and I ran into a group of 3 people who are all shooting at me, and I get away and I end up going down. And so all of a sudden, I'm like, Paul, they're right here. And then Paul just lights me up, and I'm like, Paul, that's me. Paul, that's me. Paul, God damn it, Paul, that is me. And he reloads, shoots me again. He's like, oh, I didn't even know it was you. He's like, no, you fucking knew. You knew damn well that was me. But, you know, you're getting better, though. You're hitting quota more often.
Yeah.
Quota is 1 kill in Battle Royale games. If you didn't know, that's universal quota. If you don't get 1 kill in a Battle Royale game, fuck you.
I don't know. Whenever it's me, you, and T-Bone, because Eric was gone on a vacation for a little bit, but
I went to Cancun.
yeah. But you know, when I was playing with you guys, like I called myself, I was the cleanup guy. So like, you know, I come in and I'm that guy that has like 400 damage, but I'm finishing off the kills. You know, like I'm finishing them off. If you guys do a lot of the damage, I'm there to clean it up and I knock the guy. You know, like so I do get the kill count that way. You know, and I'll finish a game with 2. Sometimes maybe 3 kills,
Yeah.
and then it'll be like Paul only has 700 damage, but everybody else has 1,500.
Okay, we're gonna take it back a notch a little bit. There was a game that we played. I think it was like 3 nights ago or something, where it was me, T-Bone, and Paul here, and unfortunately we didn't stream this because it would have been like comedy gold. But I had, I think, like 1,800 damage with 6 kills. T-Bone had around the same damage with 6 kills. Paul had 31 damage with 0 kills.
I think
31, and I told
And we
him,
won.
Like, and we won. And I'm like, Paul, we gonna have to get that damage number up, man, because 31, like, yeah, we won, but I'm gonna need your assistance a little more because that shit can get stressful.
Yeah, I gotta be better about, you know, getting to places with you guys on time too, because like sometimes I take a little bit longer to loot, which we've talked about before too. But
You and Eric both, though. You're not the only
and I'm
one.
getting better at it. You know, I'm getting a little bit quicker, but you know, so like a lot of your kills and damage happens like right when we fall. So like right when we drop and we get to our drop zone, I have a hard time because I mean, it's just the way you guys play the game, you guys get it. So we'll drop in a building and there could be 4 guns in the building. And you guys get them all. So there's no gun for me. So I'm running around trying to get a gun, and you guys are out there killing and slaying people, and I have no gun. All I have is a grenade.
In our defense, a lot of times, like, we'll be shooting, and I'll learn it at this point, because all of a sudden I'll go down and be like, Paul, where you at? I'm looking for a gun. Like, you should have fucking said that you didn't have a gun earlier.
well,
I would have dropped you one.
You guys picked that shit up so quick that it's like, well, if you picked up one gun, don't go pick up the next one. You know, see, especially if we're getting ready to get in a battle.
So if, you know, like Cascade Falls on the Stormpoint map, when we drop through like that opening on the building,
yeah.
if there's like 4 guns there, I always only grab 1.
I go straight
And-
upstairs.
And T-Bone also goes straight upstairs.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the problems. So sometimes we actually leave guns down below.
Yeah.
Which, oh well.
because I felt like for the first couple times while I was doing it, I would get one. So like I had to just find my own route, you know,
Yeah.
so I know when we drop, like I'm going straight up the small steps and to the right.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a gun there and then sometimes there's not shit. You
Well,
know, so
I think personally that Seer would fit your playstyle better.
I just like I mean, I know the aiming down sights, you can do the heartbeat, and I know he has that, you know, the dome,
Mm-hmm.
that he can throw out. But I like Bloodhound because I feel like that ability is better for me visually.
Yeah, the one time per match you use it.
No, I use it more than that now.
Oh, twice sometimes?
I've been a lot better with it.
It recharges.
Yeah, I know it does.
Use it.
But I've been a lot better.
How often do you hear me
At first, I had to
using my drugs and throwing my jump pad?
Well, that shit all the time. But like, I'm not just gonna use it just to use it. We have to be around people. You can use yours all the time for no
tactics,
reason.
Because with Bloodhound, if you haven't played Apex before, Bloodhound like shoots this. We'll just call it a wave. It's like an orange wave where he can then see people through walls and through hills and shit. But the problem is, they can see where it came from. So if you're just using it recklessly, JP, if you're just using it to use it, you're kind of giving your position away too. So I will give you that. You are a little more careful with it. But in fights, there's too many times that we have to remind you.
Well, I feel like
OB. I was
going to say for a while, T-Bone would have to tell me, when to use it. But I feel like in the last week or so, 2 weeks, I've been using it better, especially when I know we're coming up on people.
Honestly, I give you all kinds of credit for how much you've progressed in that game. I mean, because it's not an easy game. It really isn't. And anyone that says it is a fucking liar. Because just the movement mechanics in that game are insane. And I think with looting, that's like your shots are getting significantly better. And your understanding of the game, and because everyone has their patterns in that game. So your understanding of that is getting better. It's just your movement and
learning the maps was a big part of it, because you guys have your patterns that you guys are going to go to on the map.
Yeah, our tracks that we call them.
So
run the track. Paul's like, well, I've never been here. I don't.
Guys, it's my second time playing with you. What do you mean the regular route? And they're like 400 yards away, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, so. Now I'm thinking about it more, I do think you have surpassed JP, because I remember JP and I dropped at Fight Night one time, where, you can't use a gun. It's just boxing.
Oh, yeah, the no gravity thing.
And I'm fighting two people by myself, and JP is looting. And mind you, we landed in the ring together with two other people, started fighting them, and then he ran away and started looting. And I'm like, JP, where the fuck are you? JP, where the fuck are you? And then he doesn't say anything. And then I go down, and he's like, I'm looting, man. He's like, what the fuck do you mean you're looting? We're supposed to beat the shit out. We landed at Fight Night to fight
to night. Actually punch people.
Yeah. and there's some funny shit that's happened, JP. That specific moment, I actually have a game clip of that too, because I was getting pretty frustrated.
Post it right here.
No, because you need the audio, and I would have to overlay the audio on what we're saying. But, maybe if we do bring back gaming clips of the week, because we're starting to get more clips just of ourselves, since nobody wants to send us anything.
Don't be ashamed of your gameplay.
Yeah, because, it's not just about, being awesome and getting, 14 kills in one run. If you have something funny, send it over, man. Like, that, people like funny game clips, and funny shit happens. Literally, when Paul first got here, I showed him a clip. I didn't even know why I recorded it, and I think I ended up getting 6 kills or something. But Paul's like, dude, did you see that Jeep just fly off the cliff? And I didn't even notice, but yeah, this Jeep just falls to its death.
Just goes right off, and there's somebody in it.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Send it over, and we'll start up the gaming clips of the week again. But with Apex, and we say it time and time again. If you want to play with us, shoot us an invite. Typically, we've got 4 people, so we kind of do a subbing system where 3 people will play 2 games, and then one person subs out. That person comes in, 2 games, that person subs out. So, if we got 2 more people, for example, we could just run double trios the whole time. And
that would be nice, too.
So if you want to
play... And then just rotate squads.
Exactly. So if you want to play... And hell, we could somehow get into the same match.
Ooh, that would be funny.
Because then we could do 6v3 on everybody, and then it's all right, guys, at the end, we're all going to box each other.
Then I'd really be shooting people that I didn't mean to shoot.
Shit, T-Bone. My bad, dog, my bad. I fucking told you it was me. But, Apex is a lot of fun. It's definitely Paul's game right now. I mean, I enjoy playing it. It's what I play more than anything right now. But what I've really been craving to play is Battlefield 2042. I've been playing by myself a lot recently, which is super depressing. So if you're watching this, can you please play Battlefield with me? Because Paul doesn't want to. And, Season 1 just dropped, and right now, the state of the game is the way it should have been when it launched. Right now, it's a finished game. It lacks content because of how long it's been out, but if you've never played it before, jump in now, and you're going to have all kinds of shit to do.
So can you choose just to play the new map, or
Yeah, there's a playlist for just the new map.
and it's not like in Portal? It's actually
Yeah, it's just exposure, breakthrough, and
nice.
exposure conquest. They also moved some of the portal maps into the main game.
Finally, so
I
they
learned
listened.
that today because I just launched the normal conquest playlist, and the first one it put me in was Caspian Border, and I'm like, yeah,
Caspian Border's on there now?
It is, it is. So I played.
Sorry, boys, Apex gonna be on pause tomorrow.
So I played some Caspian Border, and then I played, I forget the name of it, but it was a Bad Company 2 map, and then it brought me to the new map. But the new map, it's my favorite Battlefield map of all time.
Not
And
just because it's new, like
not just because
actually
it's
you got
new.
some real feel there for it.
It makes so much sense. You've got your sniping areas, you've got your vehicle combat areas, and then you've got your fucking
Close
crazy
encounter
infantry areas. And the levels of the map are just crazy. Like, you know, you're up over here and you've got just like this really nice green field with trees and stuff, and that's what I call the sniper area because there's also hills and some towers and stuff. And then you go over a little bit and you got a roadway. That's where most of the vehicles meet. And then there's this giant cliff. And midway down the cliff is your infantry only areas. It's like this indoor area. You really can't get any vehicles in there. I mean, I'm sure someone will figure out how to do it because, I mean, look at how we used to play Halo back in the day where you could just launch a warthog across the map. So someone will figure out how to do it. But the infantry areas are insane. Like, I'm talking, remember Operation Locker and Operation Metro?
Yeah,
It's like that. And it's awesome.
I loved that map when it first came. Remember, that was the beta map too.
Which one?
for
Metro or
Operation Metro?
Yeah.
yeah, and that was the beta map for it when it first came
Yeah.
out. So
Metro was insane.
Now,
That
there
was
was a-
Battlefield 3.
there was a part when you were doing, because that was Conquest when we were playing big time, or no, Rush.
Yeah, but there's a part where you start outside.
Right, and then you
of
go
the
all
Metro.
the way in
Yeah.
through the Metro, and man, I remember there were some times where it was impossible to get to that final rush,
Yeah.
or Conquest, whichever you were playing.
Well, so I played Conquest on the new map last week because they had the Conquest playlist for the new map. And the Conquest playlist, like, I have not enjoyed Conquest.
I was
going
going
to
to ask you, what's better through on that new map, Breakthrough or Conquest?
I like them both the same,
Really?
and that hasn't happened in this game yet. They both flow super well, and man, like we were playing Breakthrough. I was playing Breakthrough earlier today, actually, and we were the defenders. And man, these guys were just whooping the shit out of us. They made it through the first one, made it through the second one, third one, fourth one, and I mean, we're getting stomped. People in the chat are getting pissed off, like, "What the fuck are y'all doing? Nobody's fucking playing the game." And
I love those people get up there.
and then we get into the last area, which, it's an area where vehicles can come in, helicopters can come in. We're in a small garage, basically. We held
Just
that
holding it
shit
down.
through 600 fucking tickets, dude. We were in there forever, but it was satisfying as fuck. And the new map, I mean, I'm going to talk a lot about the new map just because I think it's the best. And when I say it's the best Battlefield map, that's comparing it to things like Caspian Border. I mean, Caspian Border, that was our favorite, all-out warfare map forever.
Yeah.
I mean, for Battlefield 3, and then they brought it back in Battlefield 4. They remastered it a little bit, changed some things. And
Graphically enhanced it all.
yeah, and then Operation Metro and Locker, those were our favorite infantry maps.
So, and then the de-evolution,
The Levolution.
Levolution
yeah.
is in it, so...
In the new map, I don't know. If there is Levolution, I haven't found it yet.
But they still kept it in Caspian Border, though, right?
Maybe?
I would
With the
hate for
antenna?
them- yeah, the big antenna. Even those buildings up there.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so one thing I will say. The destruction on the new map is better. Like, you remember with just vanilla Battlefield 2042, you hit a wall, nothing would happen. Like,
Right.
you hit it with a rocket, and okay, there's still a wall there. Most of the walls can be destroyed on the different buildings throughout now. So you have your flank routes back. Like, that last match I was talking about in Breakthrough, we're in this fucking small area, and then these motherfuckers start blowing holes in the walls to shoot us and stuff, and it felt like Battlefield.
I'll have to get on.
And 2042 has not, it's felt like a good shooter, but it hasn't felt like Battlefield. You know what I mean?
Which we talked about. We, felt like they were missing something.
Yeah.
And the maps just weren't
Yeah.
done very well.
And, they're they're revamping some of the maps. The first one, I think, is going to be Kaleidoscope, which is like that map that looks like it was in South Korea with the big towers. They're adding all kinds of like, war tornness to it, and like different sandbags and little forward operating bases.
Yeah, because it looks like there was never even.
Yeah, it looks
a
beautiful
war.
though. Even the fucking grass was mowed. Like, who has time?
Hold on, the John Deere's driving off. All right, now go.
Yeah, so they're doing that. That'll actually come out within the next couple of weeks. That update, and then the following one, I forget the name of the map, but the map where it's like desert on one side and then like luscious green on the other side.
Yes. Yeah.
That one is the next one that they're doing. So
I wish they'd do Shipyard.
I like Shipyard.
Yeah, but that field, like what we used to have,
That's true. That's
just
true.
put some down tanks over there, to make it easier, so it's not just a sniper haven.
Been spending most of my life living in the sniper's paradise. Ooh. Yeah, I agree. And, I watched this guy on YouTube called Big Fry, and he was reviewing, because, they showed...
Is this the guy that responded to you?
I think I've killed Big Fry in a game before.
Oh, remember you were saying like the guy you get all
that
your
was
content from?
that was the Tom Henderson.
Oh, that's right, Tom Henderson. Yeah.
No, Big Fry is just a smaller YouTuber. He's got like 200,000, 250,000 subs. I was with him when he had 10,000, but he's just a funny fucking dude. And he was doing like a review of the video that Battlefield had put out where they're showing what they're doing to these maps, and he's like, "You guys clearly have the assets in place. Just put the fucking maps out."
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing where you're making people wait? You're done. You guys put a game
paid
out.
for the game.
Yeah, you guys
You're
put a
losing
game out
subscribers.
that you guys put a game out that hadn't even really been tested, but now you want to do all these testing on sandbags that you're adding and shit. Now, mind you, it looks great, and he agreed too. It looks good, but it's like, just put it out. But right now, Battlefield it feels so good. The Season 1 content is there. For those familiar with Apex, it's a very similar Battle Pass to Apex, where you have like these weekly objectives that give you Battle Pass stars.
Yeah.
And every 10 Battle Pass stars is one level. But I did last week's weekly objectives and this week's. And once I'm done playing doing the objectives, which I think it took me 2 matches last week and 2 matches this week, I'm already at like level 26. So the Battle Pass is really easy to level up too, and I think
that means it take me multiply that by 6 divided by 3.
Yeah, you won't get in on time. Yeah,
that'd be like yeah, I won't be able to do that.
Yeah, no,
I don't play enough hours of video games, unfortunately, to probably.
What are you trying to say? That I play hours of video games?
Yeah.
Okay, you're true.
That's a compliment.
That's right.
Too.
You're true. I said you're true. You're true. You are true, Paul. But it feels good. The cosmetics that they're putting out in the Battle Pass, they make sense now. Like, it's not all this bright, stupid shit. Like, they're making it feel like the World War III game that it should feel like. It should be gritty. It should be dark, We're talking about a world war where the world is being, just ravished by war and climate change. No weather events that I've noticed in the new maps, by the way.
Still disappointed in that. Besides those stupid tornadoes, get out of there.
Yeah, I think the tornadoes are cool, but if they only happened that 10% of the time that they said it was supposed to.
Yeah, but they're almost every match.
Yeah, it's almost every match. Yeah, and what is it? The Zavad? No, not Zavad. That's an old map. Never mind. The desert map on 2042. You get the sandstorm with the tornado, and it's like you can't see shit.
Yeah,
it's like fuck out of here with that shit.
Especially when you're in the city, like. It's like the worst time. Like if you're out in the open, it's you can kind of go around it and maneuver it, but when it's like you're in downtown and you're like, well, there's only so many places to go down here. Hide in a building, can't do shit.
And those tornadoes, I don't know how often this has happened to you, but for me, the amount of times a tornado is like, hey, little guy, whoop, and threw me out of bounds, and then I die.
Yeah, that's
fuck off, man. I'm trying to get my team a dub. Man, I played one match earlier today. Actually, the one that we ended up winning. I wasn't first place on both teams. I was first place on my team. The guy that was first place on the other team had.
Well, we'll give you a little bit of a break there. You
I
haven't played in a while,
yeah.
so
and they've changed.
Cut you some slack.
They've changed the weapon balancing since the last time I played, so all the attachments do different things now. So none of my guns felt right either, but I still was first place on my team. So
it's so stupid.
Sad for the people that were in the game with me, but fuck them.
Speaking of something that wasn't aesthetically pleasing. The first Call of Duty trailer we got.
Yeah. Do you agree with me now? Did you get to rewatch it?
I saw it. Yeah, I mean,
So,
I wasn't like looking for details like that when I saw it
and
at first. I was kind of like,
so the
well,
thing
he's
is,
being a little hard on it. And then whenever you saw, or I think it was E that sent the screenshot of it.
I sent the screenshot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I saw it and I was like, oh, that does kind of look like shit.
Yeah. So I wasn't looking for it. First the cinematic trailer came out, which I thought looked great. And then the campaign gameplay trailer came out, which, they try to make those a little more cinematic, like it's planned gameplay. They're purposely moving slow.
Should be the best graphics.
Yeah, it should be the best graphics, the best frame rate. And I don't know, it was specifically Soap, his character model, and every frame that he was in looked like shit.
Looked like they took him from Xbox on the first Modern Warfare.
It looked like they put him in Microsoft Paint and used the eraser on his face and just took off all of his facial features. Like, he had no wrinkles. They zoomed in on Price and Soap next to each other at one point. I can see every fucking pore on Price's face.
And we'll put a screenshot
I'll
up
put
here
that
so you can
screenshot
see
up.
it. But
So you can see every pore on Price's face, and then Soap just looks like a bar of fucking soap.
like a bar. So nice.
That's the easiest way I can describe it. And the funny thing is, as I started, it was the following day because we got into a little disagreement in our group chat about it because there were some of the guys that didn't agree with me, which everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I just personally thought the trailer looked like shit. I thought that the Modern Warfare 2019 trailer looked significantly better. And this game's supposed to be on a different engine. It's supposed to be significantly better graphics, and it still just looks like a last-gen title to me. It doesn't look like the 2042 graphics still blow it out of the water, in my opinion.
The campaign, when they're going up the stairs, it reminded me like they just took it right out of, I think it's Modern Warfare 2 when they're going up the oil tanker.
Same.
It
almost the same
I was
mission.
like... that's the one thing I took away from the trailer. I was like, did they just literally take the same oil tanker and we're doing the same mission again? Like,
yeah, they probably changed a couple of things about it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still really excited about Modern Warfare 2. I think it's going to be a good game, and some of the information that's been coming out about this game looks like they're trying to compete with multiple games at the same time. One thing that they said was, Ground War in Call of Duty 2019 wasn't very good. Ground War was their take at Conquest to kind of compete with Battlefield. Large scale, more players, capture objectives, hold them, try to capture the other objectives, hold them. You got the same ticket system or whatnot. But in Modern Warfare 2019, it still felt like Call of Duty. Like, you were just dying every 3 seconds. Like, everything was kind of compressed into a much smaller area than it should have been for the number of players that were in there. And it didn't feel good. It didn't flow good. And apparently they've put a huge focus on that. It's going to be bigger maps, same amount of players, more vehicles. Now, leaks. A lot of this is leaks. Some of it's been confirmed. Some of it's leaks. They did confirm it's going to be bigger maps. They confirmed it's going to flow better. Some of the leaks suggest videos more similar to vehicles more similar to Battlefield. So I hope they get that right, because I like those bigger game modes, and I think you do too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one reason why we love Battlefield so much is because of those bigger game modes. Yeah. So yeah, it'd be cool to see Call of Duty if they do it right, But again, and we talked about this. I think it was on our last podcast. Was like, these games have to find their own
identity.
Yeah, exactly.
Within that space.
So I'm glad that they're not like just copying and pasting what somebody else is doing. They're actually taking the time, failing and trying again and trying to perfect it. So I'm good with that, and hopefully they make some changes. They learn from the first one, and then now they, it sounds like some of the leaks and the rumors that are coming out can, some true, some, not completely, set in stone yet, but that they're actually making those adjustments.
Yeah, so. And of course they're still going to have their standard team deathmatch and other modes like that. They're not getting rid of that stuff because that's still the Call of Duty formula. So that stuff's not going anywhere.
I am happy that they're actually sticking to doing a campaign.
Yeah.
Nobody does
Battlefield
them anymore.
gave up on that a while ago.
I think 3 was the last one.
They did one in 4.
That's right, right.
But Battlefield 3 campaign was amazing.
Yeah, it was
Battlefield
really
4 campaign was pretty good. It lacked.
Do you remember the beginning of Battlefield 3?
Yeah,
you're like jamming out in the Jeep and they're playing. I forget what song is playing.
I don't remember.
And the next thing you know, just a bomb hits and you just flip and you're rolling down the hill. And
Yeah, those campaigns were great, and then they stopped doing it with Battlefield 1. They did the war stories. They continued that in Battlefield 5. They did nothing in 2042. So yeah, it's good to see that they're doing that because the Call of Duty campaigns have always been pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed the shit.
You remember when they remastered Warfare or Modern Warfare, the first one, and then they did the second one. So yeah, I love the campaigns. I've played both of those again.
Yeah.
And I mean those are two of my absolute favorite campaigns.
Well, even the Modern Warfare 2019 campaign, I loved that.
Yeah, it was good too.
They did that mission. I think it was called like Clean House or Clear House, where you got your night vision on and you're just going through that like
the
terrorist
swamps
house
and everything. Oh,
no, not that one.
Oh, okay.
But it's exhilarating. So I'm excited for the campaign. I'm excited for the large scale mode. See how that plays because that could be one of my main modes. Some information about Warzone 2 has been leaked and confirmed. They're going back to a backpack system, a book bag system, as Paul would call it. It's book bag.
My wife made fun of me the other day.
Did she?
Yeah. So Riley's book bag. She's like, I was like, hey, do you have Riley's book bag? And she goes, it's a backpack. And I was like, it's a book bag. And she goes, it's a backpack. And I was like, well, no. I was like, does she bring it to school? She's like, yes. I was like, so she puts books in it. Well, not yet. I was like, but she eventually will put books in it when she goes to school. Yeah, she goes, but until then, it's a backpack.
So if you take it on vacation, do you call it a clothes bag? Like, do you change the name of it?
Then it's a backpack.
When
it's books, it's a book bag. Leave your comments. But what do you guys call it?
What if you you just got done with school? You're 18 years old. You take your books out of your bag. You put the clothes into the same bag. Your book bag has now converted to a backpack.
When you get home?
Yeah.
Yeah, it converts to a backpack.
Fucking dumb. That's stupid.
It went from being used as a book bag to a backpack.
That's so dumb. What do you guys call it? Is it a backpack or a book bag? Because our Cali friends that we play Apex with, they give Paul will be like, guys, I need a book bag. T-Bone every time without fail. Don't know what that is. Fuck out of here with that book bag bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna respond to you until you tell me what it really is.
Yeah. So
funny thing of playing with T-Bone is we'll be sitting there playing, and next thing you know, I just hear this, Paul, and I feel like it's such a disappointed father. Like, God dang it, what'd I do? Get over here, Paul. You're lingering.
Paul. Yeah, I get that.
And then you get it whenever you charge in front of us too. Like, it'd be like, Jake.
So one thing, you're right, but at the same, there'll also be times where Eric will call out like, "Oh, Jake's wandering," and T-Bone will be like, "I trust Jake. It's fine."
Yeah,
Jake can win his fights. He's gonna be all right.
You guys were both doing that the other day. Be like, "Oh, well, we're on our own." Be like, "Yeah, Jake, you'll be all right." And then T-Bone goes out on his own. Yeah, T-Bone will be all right.
And then
Paul's out on his own. Paul, get back over here.
Paul, son of a bitch. But so Jesus, we got off topics all because of book bags. So Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Warzone 2. I just fucked that up. Warzone 2 is going back to a backpack system. So, you're going to be limited. Whereas in Warzone, you can just pick up full ammo for every ammo type. You got your grenades and shit, and it doesn't take up slots. So now you're going to have slots, but with that, you're going to be able to carry additional weapons too. So let's say
it's not just your two?
Yeah. So let's say you've got, your M4 and a sniper rifle. You can pick up another weapon and put it in your backpack. Now, mind you, it's going to take up space.
What's the process of taking it out?
Don't know yet.
Is like you got to hold up on your D-pad and then he puts one away and then...
Probably something like that.
Call of Duty probably make it something realistic where he takes off the book bag and then puts it down on the ground and then takes that gun out.
He takes the backpack off of his back.
Yeah.
The pack that's on his back. It's crazy. So they're going back to a backpack system. Their armor system is going to change in a way that I don't like. It's going to change to something. So Blackout, do you remember Blackout? It was their first battle royale. It came out with Black Ops 4.
No, I don't know if I do.
So they had this armor system
I didn't play a lot of Black Ops 4.
I guess you could compare it to Apex where you pick up the armor and you've got, your level 1 armor, your level 2 armor, and your level 3 armor. It's not, you just switch out the armor plates. So when you first land, you're not going to have any armor at all. You actually have to find an armor vest. You could even relate it to PUBG. So you actually have to find the vest. So I really liked... I really like the plate system, which Battlefield started that. Not trying to brag, but they did. Where you get shot, you fucking replace your plates. I like that. So I don't know how I feel about that. Their gunsmith is going to be dope, though. I keep feeling like you want me to look at your hand. You're doing like, stop it. Stop moving it. You're moving it. So their gunsmith is going to change. It's going to be similar to the gunsmith that you're used to now, but you're going to have your attachments and then your weapon parts. So weapon parts, there's going to be your barrel, your magazine, your stock, your... What the hell were the other things? I'll have to look it up.
Suppressors, muzzles.
No, those are attachments.
Oh, okay.
But with your weapon parts, those can be changed without using an attachment slot. So you can put on a different barrel, a different magazine, a different stock without using an attachment slot. And then your attachment slots, you got your suppressors or whatever. You've got your optics, your lasers, your foregrips, but you only get 3 of those now instead of 5. So total, though, if you count the 5 weapon attachments plus the 3, or the 5 weapon parts plus the 3 attachments, you can actually get 8 attachments now instead of 5. But
does that seem realistic though, for like what someone's gonna carry in real life?
Well, no, limiting your weapon attachments at all isn't realistic. Like if I want an optic and a foregrip, I'm gonna put an optic and a fucking foregrip on it. Just say like, hey man, you've already put 5 attachments on this. You can't change anything else. Like bull fucking shit. If you played Tarkov, I can put a sight on another site on another site on another site. Fuck out of here. I can do whatever the fuck I want. So I think this actually makes it a little more realistic, because one thing that I always hate it when it limits your weapon attachments, it limits how you can customize the way your gun looks and the way you can make your gun feel for yourself.
Sure.
So I feel like changing this where you can, change your barrel, and I think it even, like your rail system, I think that was one of them, and then your pistol grip or whatever, you can make it look the way you want it to, and then you add the attachments for performance.
That makes sense.
So I like that. One thing that was interesting for Warzone 2, so they lowered it from 150 players to 100 players, but there's going to be 300 AI on the map.
Jesus.
And so you know how like right now, if
they're probably not dropping in with you. They're probably down on the map already.
They're already on the map, and there's gonna be like, you know how like right now you either wait for a loadout to drop or you buy one. Can't do that anymore. You have to go to an AI stronghold, kill the AI and the AI boss, and your reward is your loadout.
Why do I feel like someone else did that? Didn't Oh, I guess I was thinking of Division. Didn't you have to go through something like that in Division? Like you had to kill...
I mean, yes and no. I mean...
I thought maybe there was another game that I'm thinking of that you had to do something along those lines.
I mean, the Division, yeah, you go into an area, you kill the AI, and then the AI boss, and you can get
PUBG. PUBG added that in, where there was bots on the ground, and basically they were a stronghold, and these containers, it was just on one map. And you had to kill the AI to be able to get in, and there would be like higher end loot in there. Okay, yeah. So PUBG was the one that did that.
Okay, yeah. I never got to see that in PUBG. That's actually kind of cool. But so I like that system though, because it's like it's risk reward, and that's how any immersive game should feel. I mean, just like when we play Apex and we go into like the spider dens, the reward by shooting the spiders is you can get good weapon attachments. The risk is everyone hears you shooting. And they're going to come on the kick jump. You know what I'm saying?
You get those attachments, you get all that stuff, you're upgraded.
No, typically we die. Yeah, typically we die. So now it's like you're going to be looting, and all of a sudden you hear all these shots, and it's like, let's go kill these motherfuckers before they kill the AI. And then, so I think it's cool. Yeah.
We were killing all the spiders and everything, and the next time we walk out of the tunnel, and then we're pinched.
Yeah.
It happens quick.
Yeah, it is quick.
I do like the flow of Apex because it does go a lot faster. Sorry, I'm getting off topic.
Yeah. One thing I really hope that Call of Duty does with Warzone, fuck that pregame lobby shit. It's stupid. I know PUBG started it, and the idea behind it is to get enough players in the match to start it. I get it. It's 100 players. Well, Warzone currently 150. I think they lowered it to 125. But either way, you're waiting to fill that lobby. Whereas, Apex is 64 players. It's just as exciting as 150 players, but you don't have to wait in a fucking stupid-ass pregame lobby. Like, sometimes it's like, searching for one more player, and it's like, okay. But, we'll be in and out and into the next match so quick. Whereas, PUBG and Call of Duty are the worst. It's like, waiting for players to join, and you're in the pregame lobby just shooting people, and then you're in there for 3 minutes, and you finally get enough players, so then the countdown starts, and now you're in there for another minute.
I thought you were talking about the noise in the lobby.
Like
how loud and obnoxious the noise is as you're waiting to
that too. Yeah.
That shit is awful.
But no, I'm just the flow of it. It takes so long, and the most frustrating thing about those other battle royales compared to Apex is, you go through all that, and then you land and get shot in the back with a shotgun right away. It's like, now I got to do it again.
Oh, damn it!
That sucks. So if you're not good at that battle royale, you're going to spend more time in the pregame lobbies than you are in the game. So I hope they change that.
You know what I hate? We're just going to have to end our gaming segment and move on to sports.
Dang, we do have to end our gaming segment. Holy shit.
But,
we'll have more on Modern Warfare 2 as we get closer to it. Go check out Battlefield, play some Apex, shoot us your gamer tags. We love you.
Yeah, love you guys. We'll see you soon for sports.
Man.
Can't get enough.
So, Chris and I, we were working together at a project in Orlando one time. And right next door to the project, there was a racetrack. And before I left, because he was going to be staying there the rest of the day, I was taking off. And before I left, we got some pizza. So, cheese. I got 2 slices, big slices of pizza. Ate those. And then I'm like, I'm going to get some ice cream. Why not? I'm going to be on my way home after this, right? So I get some frozen yogurt that they got there. Big bowl of frozen yogurt. They only charge you for the size of the bowl, and I'm gonna get my money's worth on that bowl. So, I eat it, and I remember Chris saying, he's like, "You gonna make it home?" Like, man, I'm.
It's sad when our friends know that we have an issue.
and in my mind, I'm like, dude, my house is 17 minutes away from here. I am fine, bro. 5 minutes into that shit, I'm crying.
Have you ever begged and started praying? like, please God, just let me make it home, please.
And then, do you ever get mad? You get to the point where you're like, come on, you motherfucker! Don't fucking do this now. We're almost home. Dude, I almost didn't make it though.
Bro, you know what my wife does? If we're on our way home from somewhere like that, and I'm like, I gotta get to the bathroom, and I'm flooring it down the road, she's like, just let it go, babe. Just let it go. She's like, I'm not gonna judge you. I'm like, you don't understand the mess and chaos that will be in this car.
Chris says today when we were talking about this story, he's like, do you ever think about just letting the pain end? I'm like, yes, I do, but I can't because I have this sense of pride. Okay. Welcome back to the MGS Podcast, your one-stop shop for movies, games, and sports. We've reached the final segment, which actually I feel kind of sad because we haven't had one of these podcasts in a while.
But I feel like we've made up for it because we've had like 40-minute segments. Yeah, so thanks for hanging around.
We almost got really good. If Paul wouldn't have interrupted me on that last one, we'd still be talking.
Probably another 15 minutes for sure.
Easily. But we'll carry on with that later. So first, for sports, I want to congratulate Golden State Warriors.
Steph Curry is making more of an impact on his career and his legacy he's going to leave behind. So
T-Bone is one of my closest friends, and he has been a diehard Golden State fan since he exited the womb. So I'm happy for my friend's team. Anytime my team gets eliminated, I always want one of my friends to feel the glory. When the Packers got eliminated, I was rooting for the Bengals. That was a really depressing day, though. But, yeah, congratulations, Golden State. Have you seen some of the funny shit with Klay Thompson?
I've seen a bunch of where he knocked down the lady in the crowd.
First, he loses his championship hat, on his way to like the parade or whatever, and then he knocks over the lady in the crowd because he's stumbling.
Yeah,
and then he drops one of his championship rings.
Hard. Yeah, I saw
Bro,
that.
He
almost lost his ring.
He's having fun. At least he didn't throw the Super Bowl trophy off of a boat.
Even do that. That's fun too. Who cares? I mean, at the end of the day, bro. These guys have busted their ass for an entire season. The amount of work that they put in to keep their bodies in shape throughout the season, I mean...
It's a long season.
It is. And then you go into the finals, and you're playing harder than you've probably played all season. Well, actually, I'd say the last month and a half when you're really trying to, put yourself in a good position and, your seating and where you want to be. So you're putting a lot of exhaustion on your body at that point, and, I mean, Steph Curry's making it look easy. The dude is ridiculous. I'm glad to see him go out there and get a Finals MVP, and then win his fourth ring.
Best shooter of all time.
Absolutely.
Did
you see the press conference after the game?
I did.
And he's like, Stop tagging me in these stupid videos saying, or it was a podcast he was doing with someone, and they asked him like, what do you think about, people saying you've ruined the game? And he's like, stop tagging me in these stupid videos about your kids pulling up from half court. I didn't tell him to take that shot. I was dying laughing.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's changed the game. I don't think he's ruined it.
I mean, the game was already becoming more of a shooter game than it was a defensive and, driving to the whole type game.
I think a lot of high school coaches think he ruined the game because their player has an open fast break for a layup and they're like, yeah, go, no,
stop to shoot three,
and
then the brakes,
and then he just completely overshoots and it goes over the backboard. And it's like, you son of a bitch, Steph Curry.
Yeah, it's. I mean, he's amazing, man, and I give a lot of shit because I hate the chewing of the mouthpiece. It drives me nuts. And then I heard a story about why he actually chooses his mouthpiece, and then ESPN gives you this crazy statistic about the time he's chewing his mouthpiece, and when he's at the free throw line, when he's chewing it, his percentage of making free throws went up 6% from chewing, or it was maybe even more than that, but from chewing his mouthpiece to when he's not.
Concentrating more. I mean, it's just like, Jordan sticking out the tongue. They all have their things that just help them focus more. And I always hate those weird statistics like, I don't want to brag, guys, but this is LeBron James' first ever game in history where he wore red shoes and shot three-pointers. I'm like, what the fuck? Shut up.
I mean, I do think they have all these stupid statistics for sure, but that one was pretty cool. I was like, oh, all right, well, that makes sense. He's doing it. It's not just, he's just out there chewing on it, to look, I don't know, ignorant, I guess. I don't know, but he's actually doing it because it actually helps him, focus whenever he's at the free throw line. Yeah. So.
Well, and just seeing them. Now, I'm never gonna say Golden State are underdogs because they're not. But nobody besides Stephen A. Smith thought that Golden State would be lifting that championship.
They kept those
trophy.
Receipts, man. They were calling people out.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson was calling out people he
called out Devin Booker from last year.
Devin Booker, and he called out somebody from Minnesota. Because the Timberwolves beat them last year.
It was Ja. He called out Ja. Yeah.
And then then I think the next day he was wearing a T-shirt that Boston Celtics were wearing, and it was the 18th banner. And then he wrote down in the blank banner nope, maybe next year. And I was like, yo, that's awesome. So it's cool, man. I mean, I'm happy for him. I mean, Steph Curry's good for basketball right now. I mean, it's when you get a superstar, and kind of, I think a lot of people were worried for a while when LeBron James leaves the league. What's, who's next? Who's stepping up? And I think we
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I think we got him. We got Steph Curry. We got a bunch of young stars that are coming up that are going to be promising. Jason Tatum for sure. Ja. And we'll see. Jason Tatum's been around for a little while, so he's kind of solidified himself. Ja just had 2 good years, so let's see how consistent that stays. I mean, he kind of came out of nowhere these last 2 seasons. Of course, granted, I don't think he's even been in the league too long.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
You see Devin Booker call out Jason Tatum, saying he's trying to be too much like Kobe.
I did see that. I was like,
it's like, dude,
Kobe's one of your biggest idols. Are you jealous?
It's like and I think he is. It's like you can't, Jordan was mimicked by Kobe. Kobe copied a lot from Jordan, and it made him better at the game. Like, if you see the greats, copy the greats. Why the fuck wouldn't you
Obviously,
copy
they're doing something right.
Yeah. So, Jason Tatum, keep copying Kobe. You're doing
keep
a
doing
good
your
damn
thing,
job.
boo-boo.
And Devin Booker, maybe copy Kobe more, and you would have made it to the fucking finals with the best seed in the West.
Best record in the league.
Yeah, shit. Speaking of best record in the league, Deshaun Watson's got a pretty good record going.
Yeah, most games missed by still getting paid.
Man. So, Deshaun Watson, for those of you who don't know, he sat all last year with the Texans due to sexual assault allegations it's all from massage therapists. And, he sat all last year. He ended up getting traded or he got released? No, he got traded. He got traded to the Cleveland Browns on a huge deal, which, Cleveland basically said, "Hey, Baker, right the fuck off." We're
right the fuck now.
we're moving on, and now we've got more sexual assault allegations. We're up to 66 on Deshaun Watson. Like, the Cleveland Browns organization, first of all,
didn't do the research.
What the hell are you thinking, even signing the dude in the first place when he had, at the time, it was like 50 that were open against him, and you still sign him to this massive deal. Now, mind you, I believe there's some sort of clause in his contract where at this point they can terminate the contract and they don't have to pay him.
Well, the funniest thing is seeing these, memes go around, and it's the Happy Gilmore one where he's like coming in and talking to Chubb, and he's like, "I was wrong, you were right," and it's Cleveland begging for Baker. Like, "I want you to come back, please." Like, I just think that's hilarious. They're gonna get better.
It blows my mind that who was it that we talked about it on the podcast, got suspended for betting on football for a game that he wasn't even playing in.
Someone from the Falcons, right?
Yeah, and he got suspended. Yeah, Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
And he got suspended for the season, I think it was, for betting on football.
I think it was
in a game that he had nothing to do with, and he was out injured. But yet Deshaun Watson, what? They haven't even slapped the motherfucker's wrist yet, really, for what the allegations are. I mean, I get that a lot of people are going to have their opinions when it comes to fame and false allegations. And I agree to an extent. 66 women are not making it up. Are 10 of them? 20 of them? Maybe. But
he
this
has
dude's
one backing him up.
Yeah.
Mia Khalifa.
Khalifa.
And her professional stance was giving massages. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, she's a great sports analyst now, first of all.
Is she?
Yeah. Yeah, she retired from porn.
Well, I knew that, but I didn't know she was doing
Yeah, she's a huge sports girl, yeah.
For who?
Florida teams, actually, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I know she lives out in Texas.
She's a big Cleveland Brown fan, but I mean, there's no way that all of those allegations are false. And I mean, me personally, take his talent, put it to the side. Dude's got to be out of the league. That's my opinion.
Let me ask you something right now.
You see how I said talent, by the way? I watched myself because I don't want to say talent.
Yeah, well, you already said balance earlier.
Fuck.
So. And I didn't say anything. I bit my tongue and I was like, I'm going to let him go on that one. But if you were Baker Mayfield, what are you doing?
I'm leaving.
100%, right?
I'm leaving. A team that... Now, Baker Mayfield, he's not even top 15 quarterback in my opinion, but he was winning games. He made some bad decisions, but he made some good ones too. But he was faithful to his team. And to get stabbed in the back like that and basically just literally get told to fuck off, we don't want you anymore. It's like now they need him. And it's like, sorry, I don't want you. Yeah. Now, he's going to be put in a situation, unfortunately, where I don't think anyone else is going to sign him.
Well, I mean, if he hasn't been signed at this point.
Exactly. So he might have to for the money.
I mean, and I've even said it. I don't have anything really against Baker. I do when we've talked about comparisons of his cockiness, and really don't have a whole lot to be cocky about right now. I mean, you're okay. You're not, like you said, not top 15, But you got a good squad there.
Yeah.
You know, you have a lot of reasons that you could be successful there with one of the probably the best duo running backs in the league right now with
with
Chubb
Nick
and,
Chubb
God, what's his name? He's played for the Chiefs.
my
Hill.
Lord. Oh, yeah.
So you have them, and then, you know, you did have OBJ, whatever happened between you guys, but I didn't ever think that Baker Mayfield was like the guy to take them to the you know,
to the chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The promised land. I didn't think
Maybe
he
to
was
the
that
first
guy.
round.
Yeah, maybe get you through the first round. But who knows? I mean, the guy has a cannon, but his accuracy has just never been there. I mean, he can sling the football.
Yeah, he'll throw the ball 90 yards, but 30 yards past where he was trying to throw it. So.
I mean, I still think he holds the longest in-air football thrown in the NFL.
It's from last season. Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got a cannon, and I think he's still young. So I still think there's time for him to get better? Absolutely.
Of course.
So I think Cleveland's a great fit for him, but dude, you just got slapped in the face. So, I mean, not only did they just tell you they don't believe that you're the guy, they went out and hired somebody who, number one, wasn't even officially fully cleared, and, you know, the Texans were probably like, good luck.
Yeah, they hired a guy who was just
he's good.
What you gonna give us for him, huh?
I mean, could you imagine if they traded for him? Like, traded, like, players and round picks for him?
Yeah, like, oh, man. Like, they got, like, Jarvis Landry for him.
Yeah, you gave up a wide receiver and, like, a first-round pick in 2022 or 23, and, like, that would be crazy to, like, you know, think that. But, I mean, they just paid an outrageous amount of money. But like you said, there's something in the contract. Probably they can void it, you know, if they find out these allegations are still...
I really think that the NFL needs to change their disciplinary policy. Like, you see these players getting suspended for 2-4 games for smoking weed, and
it's legal in like half the states.
And some of, like, I forget who it was, but a Broncos player got suspended for smoking it legally, and because mind you, it still violates the NFL substance abuse policy, but they're getting suspended for 4 games, and I remember actually at the time. Someone got suspended for 4 games, and then Ray Rice knocks out his wife in an elevator and drags her body out and got suspended for 2.
Yeah, but you got to remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So the NFL had a right to not. You know who actually? I don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it was the MLB came out, and they actually don't even test for marijuana anymore.
Yeah.
Was that them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't even test for marijuana anymore. So it's like, because it's legal almost everywhere, and, you know, there's so many dispensaries, and, you know, there's even medical marijuana that you can get by just going in and saying, I have a migraine. Oh, do you need some medical marijuana?
I had a headache last week. Here you go. Here's
How
your
long
card.
has it been going on? Well, just last week. Oh, you mean for a couple months now?
It's been a problem since you've been a kid.
Yeah. You might have glaucoma. Here's some medical marijuana.
Yeah. And, you know, and I agree with the MLB's decision on that, because now, mind you, you know, we're not smokers. I'm for the legalization of it, though.
Yeah.
As science has proven, it's not really a harmful drug like those commercials we used to see when we were kids.
I mean,
like where they would like melt down into the couch.
Oh, God, I forgot about don't get high.
Yeah, man, they had some crazy commercials back in the day.
You know, I mean, it's the only thing that's growing right through the soil on this earth.
Yeah.
You know, everything else got to be chopped up, mixed up, and burnt.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you burn that one too. But.
Yeah, you do burn it. Yeah. But, you know, so I like the MLB stance on that, and I think a lot of these leagues should go the same way, because let's face it, it's going to be legalized nationwide at some point here. Yeah. So, but, you know, that's, you know, we kind of got a little off topic there, but it just goes back to the discipline policy of the NFL, and I don't think that Deshaun Watson should play another game. Like Paul was you know, leaning towards before, is he has a possibility to be suspended for 60 games for this. Now, mind you, if you're suspended for 60 games, your career is over. But I think it needs to be said, like,
that's 3 years.
You're out.
Well,
like,
almost
we don't
3
want
years.
you anymore. It's more than that. It's
well, I mean, there's 17 games in a season.
Unless, like, if they make it to the postseason, if they count those, you know, that could help them. So, yeah, it could be 3 years, you know, if they make it 20 games.
I doubt they count postseason. I think regular season games is probably what it is.
So, but, I mean, I think with that many allegations, and I've read some of these, man, if some of these are true, that guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he came out and made a statement. Did you see the statement he made?
yeah.
All these are not true. I would never sexually assault or I would never touch anybody inappropriately.
Yeah, just like Jameis Winston would never
Like
steal crab legs. He did.
Saying everything, saying I didn't do anything that they didn't allow me to do was basically what he said. So like, so you're admitting that you did touch them, but now we just got to find out.
Was it consensual?
Yeah, was it consensual? So
yeah, so
which 60 people telling you that it's not consensual, it's not good odds.
It's rare. It's rare.
My thing is like, you got to think like how long. So 60 people. There's no way that like all these women just decided, well, now someone else is talking up, I'm gonna talk up. I would almost like to believe that these allegations were told to the Texans.
And the Texans tried to keep it under wraps. Yeah. Yeah.
Swept under the rug. I mean, it's got to be. There's no way that there's 66 people out there that are telling you that this happened, and they're just now coming about. So it just kind of goes to show you with power, you know, like the Texans organization, like what they're able to hide. And you got to imagine there's probably hundreds of these out there cases in the NFL. But
well, yeah. And again, they keep it under wraps. I mean...
Ray
Lewis killed a person. Shit.
Heck, you know what? Give the guy a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Make him the MVP.
And they only won because everyone was afraid of him because he might.
He pulled out a gun on the field. And he's like, "Back up, that's my QB."
Aaron Hernandez tried, and then he killed himself. So poor hitman. That's tragic. So, a little bit of not tragic news.
Yeah.
You've been following hockey at all?
About to have a three-peat.
The Tampa Bay Lightning.
So, you know what's crazy is like there's been a couple things that have happened in this series already. Not only is a three-peat on the line for the Lightning, which the last time that happened, I believe, was back in the 80s. Yeah, and not only was it a three-peat, the team that did it was
It was in the 1900s.
Four-peat, yeah, in the 1900s. In 80, 81, 82, the Islanders actually went for a fourth straight title in 83, and they did it 4 in a row, and that's actually only happened 3 times in the NHL.
For those of you doing the math right now thinking 80 to 83, that's only 3 years. 80, 81, 82, 83. We helped. We mathed, all right?
So 4 years straight for them. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning are on the verge of being able to make some history here and do a three-peat themselves. So as you can see, and three-peats in any sports are super rare, and you know once they come, you know it's instant dynasty type thing. Now, Now with the Lightning, a lot of people be like, you know, a lot of times you keep a core, but there's been a lot of those guys who've been traded out, and really kind of goes to show, which I've talked about on the podcast too, is the coach.
Yeah,
the coach putting these teams together and taking the players that he has to put, you know, this together to do 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I mean it's. Sports is a puzzle piece, and this guy finds the right pieces that he's missing because every season he loses pieces to his puzzle, and he has to fill all of those pieces perfectly in order to keep this going. And he's doing a great job.
Besides Steve Kerr just said, you know, at the end of my career, I'm just going to look back and say, thanks, Steph.
Yeah, I saw that. That was so awesome, though.
I thought it was really cool. Giving Steph the credit, you know, he's a phenomenal player. But anyways,
how lucky is Kerr? You can be like, hey, in my playing career, thank you, Jordan. In my coaching career, thank you, Steph.
Well, real quick, one of my favorite Steve Kerr moments was when he hit the game-winning shot, and he's like sitting there, and they're doing the ring ceremony, and at the parade, he's like, comes up to the podium, and he's like, you know, I'm going to tell you guys a story about what happened, and basically we went to the bench on the timeout, and, you know, coach was like, you know, if Jordan's open, you know, give Jordan the shot, and he's going to take it. And then Jordan looked at me and was like, Coach, I don't know if I can make that happen. He's like, why don't we try something else? And he's like, why don't we pass it to Kerr? So he's like, you know, we get out there. Jordan didn't have the shot. He passed it to me, and I had to save Jordan one more time. And he goes, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And that's what he said at the parade of their championship. I was like, dude, that is so legendary. So
I love Steve Kerr.
But anyways, back to NHL. I got a little off topic there. So they have a chance for the repeat. And then the crazy thing is not last game, the game before, they got blown out. So it was like 7-2 or 7-1.
Yeah.
And then the next game, the Lightning come back out and blow them out 6-1. And it was the only time that a team has been beat by like 5 points or more, and then turned it around and then blew somebody else out by 5 points or more.
That sounds so bad.
it was crazy. So it's been super exciting, and it would be really cool. I mean, obviously for the city of Tampa, to have 3 in a row, and I mean it was just 2 years ago when they won their first championship. It was the same year that the Buccaneers won the championship, and then Tampa Bay made it to the World Series.
Yeah.
And they almost had all 3 major sports teams win in the same city, and Tampa Bay Rays fell short.
Yeah.
But man, how crazy would that have been?
That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
I hate the Bucks, but it would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have been pretty neat. So, but yeah, NHL is exciting. I think there's a game on tonight. I want to say it's Game 5, but I'll have to check on that. So
your hair is so nice.
Yeah, it's getting these luscious locks.
Yeah.
so somebody the other day he's like, hey, you said your wife's Colombian? I was like, yeah, she's Colombian. He's like, yeah, you got like that Colombian narco look with the long hair. And I was like, yeah, don't fuck with me, man.
I will literally.
It's like my family's in the business.
Like, I will follow you home tonight.
So I was like, no, actually, I've been thinking about cutting it off, to be honest with you, going back to short hair.
You know, on the top of cutting it off, we've run pretty long because of our movie and gaming segment. So we're going to leave you at that. But let us know. What do you want us to talk about next time? We've got all kinds of shit we can talk about, but we want to hear from you.
Send over some clips. We want to get the gaming clips of the week set back up.
Yeah.
Leave us some comments and tune in next week, and we'll be back here for another movies, games, and sports.
Yeah, because we can't get COVID again for a while. So
yeah, COVID free.
I'm done licking shit.
Yeah. Hey, well, I guess we know now that you're not immune to it.
I know. I'm not the cure.
Yeah.
Damn, sorry.
I really wanted you to be.
Me too.
You're
I would have sold
friend,
my
man.
blood. I would have sold my blood for so much, and then the government would have murdered
right?
me anyway. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Yeah. See you next week,
See you guys next week. So the other day, I was on the phone with my parents, and I'm sitting there talking to my mom, and I was like, "Yeah, how are you guys doing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm doing good." And I was like, "Where's Dad at?" And she's like, "Oh, he's out. He's getting his gift." I was like, "Gift?" I was like, "What's he getting?" I don't know. You know that console. And literally, as she says it, and she goes, "Oh, he just walked in the front door," and I hear my dad in the background like, "Got the Xbox, baby!" And I could just imagine him walking in with the Xbox over his head, just like, "Got the Xbox," and he went out and got himself the same one you got, Camden.
Oh, the Series S.
Yeah,
Nice.
and he's all pumped about it, and he's
But so I remember one time when Call of Duty World War II had just come out, and I get home from work or whatever one day, and I see you're on Call of Duty World War II. And one thing I used to like to do a lot is I would try to join someone's game without like sending a party invite or anything. Like I just want to get in there and pray that I'm on the other team.
Start murdering. You used to do that to me all the time.
Yeah. And so I get on the
Then you would text me and be like, "Did you notice I killed you?"
So I get on the other team, and I mean within seconds, I kill for a living one. I'm like, yeah, I wonder if he noticed. And then, I kid you not, I killed Kill for a Living one like 30 times in this match, and it was his fucking dad.
Yeah, didn't you call me? Yeah. And you're like, "Dude, do you not see me killing you?" And I was like, "I'm not even playing Xbox." I was like, what do you mean? And you're like, "I'm in a match with you right now." And I was like, "I think that's my dad."
Oh, man.